Both of these men are absolute veterans in PPVW. They both know the significance of this title, and they both know they cannot afford to lose this matchup.
Are we going to see a shake of hands?
Oh! Animosity here between these two titans of the ring.
So we're just waiting for the setup to be complete.
That's right.
And I'm going to open up my Roundtree's Fruit Pasto, our second sponsor of the evening.
It's absolutely fantastic. There's a deal on at Lidl. It's like 8 for 4.
What?
Yeah. Like,
How much for the box, though?
Oh, it's like £1.80 or something like that.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Pretty good
You get
deal.
like 4 of these from Tesco for like £2.50.
We're far too easily impressed by deals at supermarkets. I'm thoroughly unimpressed with myself for being so sucked in by the capitalist agenda. Fruit pastille lollies for all. We will all own the means of production to make these delicious, cooling, iced, frozen beverages. Will we see a handshake? There wasn't previously, but the men, they've had some time now. They've had some time.
Okay, bored of that. Let's go to the game.
Let's get on.
And there's Fit Rory.
As this is a title match, I believe there is entrances on, which makes the loading times particularly lengthy.
Yes, that is true.
Oh, I know, take you to the matchup.
Oh, yeah, we can see the background in there, so we don't need to worry about that. We can stay on the loading screen. On the guys, I mean.
We can indeed. Oh, and here's JoJo not saying anything. Once again. She is very easy on the eyes. And the ears, because she's not saying anything. I mean, there's really no stress there for your earbuds at all.
Almost the perfect woman. Nice to look at, and you don't have to listen to a word.
And we'll say no more about that, Miguel.
Here comes Brian Fantasia, the PPVW Pure Champion, which is something completely separate and completely irrelevant.
That's right, and here's a man who is not dressed for the occasion here. In Baghdad, Iraq with his...
He is going to sweat in that jacket.
He might actually exert all of his energy just walking to the ring in this oppressive heat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting word in my ear that Big Scotty Pump, aka Scott Tomaster, has just entered the arena, and he will be ready for his matchups later on.
That's right, he is busy making his way to the backstage area. He is beating up interns. He is aggressive with the staff. He is generally causing issues. But, good lord, he is going to be in this ring tonight, taking on some real big players, I'm sure.
We don't have fans here. The budget's been stretched.
I believe
because of my fireworks on my entrance, so we're having to deal with it's a card to whack to cool us down.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Claude Monet's new facial hair.
It's more realistic to how he actually looks.
It is a powerful soul patch. A powerful soul patch. But then a soul patch is typically just underneath the lip and doesn't extend down to the chin. What would you call that facial hair, Miguel?
An embarrassment?
Yep.
No, I'm only kidding. I love you, Claude.
That is the facial hair of a man who made a mistake while trimming his beard.
Beef with you right now. Has he changed his hat? Oh, that does not look good.
It's not good from that angle. Typically, it's a lot better. I think it's just a poor angle.
He is the IC champion, and Brian Fantasia wants that belt.
That's right. The IC champion. That is his ticket to the World Heavyweight Championship. He knows that even if he loses this is not the end of his career. But that championship means the absolutely everything to the man who holds it. Yep. I should know as being the greatest Intercontinental champion of all times. You don't have to dignify that with a response because you know it to be true, Magico Miguel.
I should know also what it's like to be a champion because I've won every belt.
You certainly have.
So I'm hoping to add more to my collection tonight.
Perhaps we can both add some gold to our collection. With myself, Soviet Union Jack, taking on Fit Rory for the European Championship, and the pair of us, Magico Miguel and Soviet Union Jack, SSE Hydra, the Soviet-Spanish exchange, taking on Vice later on tonight. But in the ring just now, we've got the current Intercontinental champion, Claude Monet, a man who is all about the Monet. I apologise for the light streaking from the brilliance of the man's outfit.
Let's go to a crowd and just have a quick look, see how they're doing. Yep, they're good. They're ready to go. They're in good spirits. Very relaxed.
That's right. As the intensity increases, I'm sure the temperature will as well. And the tension. You can cut it with a knife.
I do apologise if you can hear me eating my ice lolly, but it's needed, isn't it? The heat here is just becoming too much.
It is almost the definition of a day that requires an ice lolly. And as we start off, we move at great pace. But Brian Fantasia goes for the slide in, but is countered. This is an absolute counter clinic here. The big knee onto Monet. Monet definitely taking a shellacking here at the start. Brian Fantasia taking control. Countered once again. Big DDT. Brian Fantasia's agility is preventing him from taking any punishment thus far. And now is a bad time to be Claude Monet because he's got no counters.
Yep.
That's where Brian Fantasia, with his speed, is going to try and take control. And press the advantage. Drags the form of Claude Monet to the centre of the ring. Repeated kicks to the face. That could not be good for the old jawline. Big clothesline to the back. Once again, Brian Fantasia on for a perfect here. It'll be certainly quite embarrassing for Claude Monet.
This is embarrassing for him so far. Especially against a man of Craig's size, or Brian's size. So.
One of our most veteran heavyweights taking on possibly the lightest man on the roster here.
And the smallest.
The size disparity is notable. This is like watching Daniel Bryan absolutely kill Big Cass.
Oh, you got
Big Cass is big and
in.
useless. Nope, here we go. The Monet offense against Brian Fantasia. But Claude Monet exits the ring for a moment.
He's just gathering his thoughts, collecting himself.
Galvanizing his will.
This is exactly how I won my first world title. By constantly just getting out the ring. Every time something was going bad, I just got out the ring and just took a moment to get myself together.
Strategize, collect your thoughts. I'm interested about the internal monologue going through the mind of Claude Monet at this moment.
Because he knows as soon as he goes back in that ring, Brian Fantasia has got the David Duchovny.
There's going to be some dangerous strikes coming his way, and that was one of them.
Part of my ice lolly is melted down my arm.
I'm going to leave a sticky residue.
Oh no, I have to wash now.
Here is David Duchovny. Does not get the 2 count though, it's simply too early on in the matchup. Brian Fantasia though, he is ready. He has got the Brian Fantasia KO. Patent pending.
Pending, yeah.
Formerly known as the R. Crago. One of the most terrifying finishers here at PPVW. You get hit with that, there's a good chance that you might kick out or you might lose. Depends on what stage in the match it's hit.
If he can hit it. Well, I've finished my ice lolly and SUJ next to me has still got 3/4 of his to go.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
I'm beginning to realise that because I've got stomach cramps now.
There's been a lot of crisps, a lot of sweets being consumed at the commentary desks thus far.
Oh, yeah.
The big knee again by Fantasia.
He's trying to get Claude Monet to use up his reversals so then he can hit him with the Brian Fantasia KO patent pending.
We're not entirely certain of what the move has now been renamed
We'll have to seek clarification after the match in the future.
I think for later matchups this evening.
The only man that can tell us what it's really called is Brian Fantasia.
It's the innovator. Claude Monet is definitely getting some offense off, but a combination of strikes from Fantasia.
Claude escapes the outside, so he's got a negative buff now.
That's alright, he can't counter until he weirdly taunts at the corner of the ring. Just flexing his arms, hanging down. And he says to the crowd, "Yeah, it's me, Claude Monet." Put some respect on my name. Monet still on the outside.
So we might have to go to a word from our sponsor right now in this. Nope, he's back in the ring. It's okay. Oh, David Duchovny. From the ground, it's almost impossible to counter that one from the ground.
That's it.
Oh!
Typically, people don't counter moves that are done on the ground because they don't hurt all that much and it doesn't put you in a great position after you counter. It leaves you wide open for a follow-up strike, which makes it absolutely devastating when someone uses a signature or a finish from the ground. An example of this is Big Christmas's Sleigh Ride, where he can just pick you up off the ground and immediately do it. It's a terrifying thing.
Oh! It's the Brian Fantasia KO patent pending!
The Arcrego. Oh my god! The tiniest boundary for Claude Monet to kick out, but he does. That is the face.
Brian cannot believe his luck.
Absolute concentration there by Claude Monet. He is in the zone.
Oh
my god! It's the follow-up. This has got to be the end. He slithers on like a sneaky snake. And that's the end of it.
It's all over.
That is the end of the IC champion career of Claude Monet. It's an absolutely devastating loss. I absolutely feel for the man, but that was a dominating victory by Brian Fantasia.
Brian Fantasia was all over that from the beginning.
Formerly known as Craig, one of the real stalwarts here, one of probably the mastermind of PPVW as a whole. Brian Fantasia is your new Intercontinental champion.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because our next matchup is a tag match. It's going to be a no disqualification tornado tag between Costume Party and the only two members of NEU. And that'll be right up after this. Word from our sponsor.